Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Flow Show. I'm your host, Sean McLaughlin, and there's your co-host, Steve Straza. Straza, how was your weekend, buddy?
My weekend was lovely. How was yours?
Also lovely, also lovely. Great weather here in Colorado. 60s, sunny. Couldn't ask for a better weekend.
Did you hike? Did you do a
I
hike?
did get a hike in. Yes, I did. It's been a while. I've been kind of slacking on the hiking, but I did get one in. It was great. Anyway, so look, right before we went live, I wanted this is not what the show's about, but I just want to mention that we finally got out of our Uber trade, an Uber trade we've been in since basically this most recent leg of the bull market began. I mean,
Yep.
we can argue the bull market, we can argue on when it started, but the last most recent leg really launched at the beginning of November, and Uber was like the first one out of the gate, and we finally closed out of it today. We had and I should clarify that we got out of it not because I'm no longer bullish in the stock, but we had March calls that expire this week, this Friday. So we were running up against the clock, and so we had to put a tight stop on it, and that tight stop was triggered this morning. So we are out of Uber. What
So
a ride!
I've drawn like the little coil here. Gene, if you want to show my chart just real quick in Uber, this you probably wouldn't have had this stop so tight if they weren't expiring on Friday, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I'd still be riding this thing for sure.
Time becomes a real issue, and you're just protecting those gains. So that was a great trade.
Yeah. And you know what? This actually brings up an interesting point, Straza. There's a common wisdom in trading that if you wouldn't sell a stock, then you definitely want to be long it, right?
Yeah.
And right now, now that I have zero position, right? I'm flat. Would I buy Uber here? Not necessarily. I'm not sure I would buy it here. If I was still long, if I was holding common, I would still hold it for sure.
Right.
I'm not sure I would add here though. What do you
Uh,
think?
I'm kind of with you. Here's where I would add on Uber. I'm going to flip out to a weekly. We might talk about a name like this here today. This is the breakout level. We're drawing like every chart, at least in any leader like this these days. A lot of indexes too, right? So you've completed this little multi-year consolidation coming off the bear market lows. For Uber, for me to get really excited and want to add exposure, it's coming back and testing, these prior cycle highs. So that's 15 points lower from here. We're talking mid to low 60s.
Okay. I went down that vein there of what I add because I want to get ahead of a question. I'm sure someone's going to ask, whether it's that they ask here in the chat or that if I can email about it, they're going to say, well, if you're still bullish Uber, then why not just, roll the calls into a later expiration? I absolutely could do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you're holding March calls that are deep in the money, like I was right now,
Yeah.
and you still want to hold the position, there is nothing wrong with rolling those calls into the next month or maybe even
Right.
further out, maybe rolling up a strike and taking some credit out. Nothing wrong with any of that, guys. That's just not how I do it. I just kind of like to think of a trade as complete when it gets to expiration. And then I like to reevaluate for a new trade at that point. And right now, if I was flat, which I am now, I
Mhm.
would not enter here. I would wait for a new setup. That's it.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I have a feeling we will be long Uber with some sort of option strategy again in the future.
That if it sets up, I'm all for it. I enjoyed my last ride on Uber. I would enjoy it another long ride. And hey, I forgot to mention at the top, Straz, that for those people who are tuning in first time to the Flow Show, what do we do here? What is the Flow Show? The Flow Show is where me and Straza walk through our process of coming up with trades. This is what we do every day at All Star Charts. Kick around ideas for trades we want to get into, and we're just sharing that process with you. Sometimes we come up with a great trade idea. Sometimes we don't come up with any ideas. Thankfully, we've been in a bull market for a little while, so there's been lots of cool ideas for us to throw on the board. So we'll see if we find one today, Straza. So what's high on your mind right now?
It's a live sausage making session, really. Um,
That didn't sound pornographic at all.
no, no. Uh, so look, two themes are on my mind. You want me to walk you through each one? You pick your favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we got a post that's hitting the website probably as we're on this video about
Ooh, breaking news.
biotechs. Breaking news. Why are we writing about biotechs real quick? This is IBB. This is the cap weighted biotech ETF. If you look at XBI, which is more equal weighted, it's going to look similar. The point is the reversal is just about in here, right? So this is a group. This is an area where we believe, just based on the price action at the index level, and if you look beneath the surface, what we're seeing in the individual stock charts would confirm this. Brand new uptrend underway, right? We go from down on the left-hand side of the chart, bear market, sideways market, right? Bottoming process. Now the reversal pattern is just about completing here, as long as we're above call 140 in IBB. Path of least resistance is now higher. New bull market for biotechs. I think this is a pond that we could be fishing in.
I like it.
And then the other one.
I don't have any biotech exposure, just dropping that out there.
Okay, see, so this is good. So the other one would be cybersecurity. This one, maybe I'm more cautiously optimistic on, simply because it seems as though large cap tech, right, the mega cap growth trade, that there's some pressure there on that whole space. You know, semiconductors had their worst day in over a year since December 2022, just on Friday. Seeing downside follow through, at least so far today. So I would want the broader market, the NASDAQ 100 complex, to kind of be cooperating if I'm buying the dip in cybersecurity. But again, this is another area, and see above these prior cycle highs here. This is talking about like an Uber. I would want a situation more like this. But this is another one of those areas that I think we want to continue to look for long opportunities in. So
Well,
cybersecurity, biotech.
yeah, if you're giving me the choice of which pond I want to fish in, I think I like that biotech pond better for right now.
John likes the fresh reversals.
I like the fresh reversals. Yeah.
These cyber, this reversal's been in, right? And we already got a really nice, you know, rally phase higher. So we would be betting on some sort of consolidation here and then another rally leg. So with biotech, this is a fresh reversal, right? Just getting started here. So there's a lot of charts that look like this beneath the surface that maybe we can get involved in. You want me to throw some out?
Yeah, let's throw some out. What do you got?
Let's go. Let's hit up the genomics first. CRISPR, love this name. This is one of the big DNA sequencing genomics tickers. We have just about a reversal completing here.
I don't know if I like that throwback above 90 though. It traded above 90 and it got thrown back, got rejected.
Back below. Yeah, and that really, you know, if you want to jump it here, I think you want the AVWAP. So we're close, but not close enough, right? So 81, and then really confirmation of the base breakout level around 86.50. Further confirmation above those pivot highs just north of 90. So maybe this one's not quite ready. How about this twist? This is TWST. It's another genomics name. Kind of completed the base a while ago here. And it's been coiling. I would draw this more like this by now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the cleanest.
I feel like this one is a lot like CRISPR. I think I would rather buy it on strength if it breaks up above 41-ish. 41-ish, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it's not screaming to me like it's time to go. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we have time. We could wait on this one.
There's also like some of the big boys we could just look at real quick, like Regeneron and Vertex. This has been like the leader in the space. But I don't know. I don't love like where it is right now, right? Like kind of buying new all-time highs here in Regeneron. Another one that kind of stood out as we were going through was remember this, Moderna.
Ooh.
Moderna out here trading as if China just invented a new COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Up 9% today. Another one. This is a hot corner name. Madrigal. JC likes to say this one.
Madrigal.
So, yeah, you have like the upper bounds of this range here. You just zoom in, right? This one's already kind of working its way higher. And you do have a bit of a level here, Sean.
Hey, you know, I feel like this is an interesting name. Hey, Gene, can you flip to my chart real quick? I want to show you something that I'm seeing on my Madrigal chart.
Madrigal.
Madrigal. I think this is one of those situations, Straz, where my eyebrow, I can't actually raise my eyebrow. I'm not one of those guys that can do eyebrow raises, but if I could, I'm looking right down here, the bottom of my chart. Look at this implied volatility just start ramping higher around January 11th, while the stock really hasn't done a whole lot. That tells me, Straza, somebody knows something. Something's going on here.
Wow, and that just started earlier this year.
Yeah, look at that. That is quite a ramp in the implied volatility. So the market, smart players are pricing in something. There's something going on here that's got people either spooked or optimistic or something.
So when you see this though, you don't want to just buy long calls. Couldn't do that.
No, I mean, look, we've talked about this in the past that when implied volatility is high, that means options premiums are high. That doesn't mean you can't make money buying calls or buying puts to express your bullish or bearish bent. It just means you need a bigger move to actually profit from it because
Right.
you're paying up, you're paying more. So it just means the odds are a little bit more stacked against you. Now, I definitely wouldn't want to buy calls here, but maybe I'd do a kind of a call spread of some kind. I mean, that helps minimize the impact of any vol crush.
You know what? You just brought up made me think of something. We can come back to this one. Check Viking Therapeutics. So this is VKTX. This is all the craze right now. Apparently they're working on some new GLP-1 that's going to be even better than Eli Lilly and Novo. This thing had some absolutely crazy unusual options flow like a couple weeks ago before the ramp up. They had, I guess, like phase 2 or phase 3 results recently, and that's why it was up like 100% in a day. But the implied vol has to be insane here, no?
The implied vol is high, yes, for sure, as you would expect. Um, it's quite a reversal though. After got right near 100, and then it came. I mean, it's back down to 64.
Basically stuffed off the 100 level, huh?
Yeah,
All right, so I would stay away from that one too.
that. I mean, yeah, that looks like you're. That looks risky, very risky.
All right, hold on. I have two more. IMVT, Immunovant. This one has been a leader for a long time, like bottomed way back in the summer of 2022, around $3, trading at 30 today, right? So up 10x. And what you tend to see in really strong primary uptrends, which this is, right? Just zooming in now, is that things that look like these scary, scary, scary tops end up not being tops at all. They end up being beautiful continuation patterns that we want to be buying. When I look at this pattern here, we gapped right up into this little consolidation. This was way back in September of last year, right? And we've, had multiple touch points on this level, keeps acting as some pretty solid support. I would be making the bet that this one doesn't end up looking like this, but instead ends up looking more like that.
Ooh, that's a hot take there, Straza. At first glance, I'm looking at that chart and saying to myself, that looks like a great short opportunity from 30 down to 20.
Yeah, scary looking top, right?
Yeah. Okay. I will humor you on this trade,
Yeah, humor me.
but I gotta see a green candle before I get involved. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5, 6, 7 straight red candles in this thing.
Yeah.
I gotta see it. I gotta at least see one green candle before I dip my toes in and get long this thing.
All right, fair enough. Let me see. I got one more. Let me see.
Hey, by the way, in the chat, you see who's in the chat?
Who's in
Our
the
old
chat?
friend Bernie Tower from Kuala Lumpur.
Burn, baby, burn. I think about him every time I look at the Tal chart, and I think Tal's up like almost like 10% here today.
Shout
So
out, Bernie. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
the man.
Guys, did you know I talked to Bernie last week?
Did you? How is he?
Me and Giancarlo got on the old Zoom with Bernie and recorded some conversations to use on our doc.
About the Batu Caves?
Yeah.
So we went to the Batu Caves, and it was crazy. Sean and I were playing with monkeys. We were wearing beautiful flower necklaces.
Flower necklaces,
And
yeah.
we wake up the next morning, and Giancarlo goes, "Shit, I lost all of the footage from the Batu Caves."
I mean, I don't want to throw shade at Giancarlo, but it might have been the best footage of the entire month that we were in Asia, right?
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, arguably, it might have been the best footage
It was
from the entire month that we were in Asia.
uh
And he lost
that
it.
was, That was just, hey, the trials and tribulations of a month-long road trip through Southeast Asia. I got one more. This one's going to be a little
Hey
bit
guys,
different.
Giancarlo's here, by the way. What's up, y'all?
Oh, Giancarlo heard us throwing shade at
It's
him.
okay. It's okay. I take ownership of it. Good
He
morning,
is
y'all. Good to see you guys.
miss you, buddy.
See you
Yeah.
guys later.
All right, Sean, one more. You don't like buying my bearish top? How about buying range lows? This is Arc Genomics name, Ginkgo Bioworks. This is what you call a bullish momentum divergence right
You
here.
want me to take you seriously when you're throwing a $1.23 stock at me? Come on, Straza.
So I think I'm glad that we did this exercise, right? Because biotech is not the easiest place to find an options trade. Either
No.
you're dealing with some pretty wide bid asks and illiquid options markets, or, I mean, half the stocks I'm going through here are trading in the single digits in terms of their stock price. So it's just kind of characteristic of the space,
All
unfortunately.
right, Straza. Then here's where we go. Here's where we go. You ready for this?
Index?
Yes. Bring that IBB chart back up. Let's just go to the index.
And now, would you rather do XBI or IBB? I think you might get more liquidity. Is there a difference, I guess?
Well, let's
what?
take a look here. Let's take a look.
In
Let's
terms
look
of
at
implied vol, and the liquidity. Is there like a preferred vehicle between the two? So in the world of biotech, we really have XBI, IBB. Those are the completed reversal patterns that we want to look to be buying. There are other vehicles like ARC-G, ARC Genomics, but the charts just aren't really, as ready as IBB and XBI.
Yeah, I'm looking through the options chains right now between XBI and IBB, and XBI definitely has more open interest. So, in terms of liquidity, we probably want to favor XBI.
I would prefer XBI. So great.
Okay, great.
All right. So basically, we want to be stopped out if we're back in this base. So call it, I don't know, 95, and then
Yeah.
If we're out of this base, Sean, I'm thinking at least 6 months. This is a primary trend reversal, which means over longer time frames, we expect this group to be moving kind of steadily higher up into the right.
All right, so let's look at a September options. Give us some time. If for no other reason, I just like big round numbers. So if we do like a call spread, I think we have to do a call spread here because vol is a little bit high.
Okay.
So what if we bought the 100 strike calls? Again, we're in September. Bought the 100s and sold the 115s. We could get about that would cost us a little under $5. So less than a third of the width of the spread, which is a good price to pay when you're buying slightly out of the money call spreads.
Right.
Gives us exposure up to 115. It's a 15% higher on an index from here.
Sean, I even think 120. Look, you got the shelf here, and also the
Ooh, yeah, I like that 120 as well. That
2020, right? Like,
yeah, no, I like that chart spot there.
So
So we buy the 100 120 call spread. We pay about a little less than $6. Still good. And I mean, there's plenty of juice in those 120 calls. So we're, the calls that we're selling, we're getting some good premium for them. That we get about, the bid ask spread's a little wide. I'm just now noticing.
really?
But yeah, I think we'll get a fair fill here. There's plenty of liquidity, like I said before. We just might have to work our order a little bit. Be patient. This thing's not going to move on us in a hurry. Right now, the fair value of that spread is 590. You might have to, up your bid a nickel at a time a little bit till you get a fair fill. But I think if you're patient, we'll get it.
When you're entering, when you're entering like a multi-leg strategy like this, do you set your order so that like you don't want one to fill and not the other?
Oh no, I always do it as a combo trade.
So they make sure they're not filling you on one unless they can fill you on the other.
Correct. Now, I can't speak for every options brokerage out there, but any reputable options exchange or options broker, like Thinkorswim or Tasty Trade or Interactive Brokers, names like that, they allow you to put in spread orders, it could be multi-legs and you just send it as one order and the whole thing fills or nothing fills.
Yeah, they treat it as one trade ticket.
Yeah.
Schwab, same way. Mhm.
Yeah. So I would put this order out for $5.90 to buy the 100 calls and sell the 120 calls. And I would just let the order sit out there for a while and maybe improve my price a little bit until I get a fill. And I'll know, Straza, that in the worst case scenario, let's say I'm totally wrong about the liquidity of these options and there just ends up being just a vacuum and there's like no way to get out at a fair price. That would suck. I don't see that happening. But in the case of that happens, well, remember, this is a defined risk spread. The $5.90 that I pay today, that's the most I could lose in the worst case scenario. So I have to go into that trade with that mindset, knowing that I don't expect to lose 100%. But if I do, my position is sized in a way that it's, just like any other loss, it's not going to be, crippling to my account in any way. My rule of thumb, and I know you're probably more aggressive than me, and there's other people who are more aggressive than both of us. But for me, I rarely will risk more than 2% of my capital on any one trade. I tend to stick closer to 1%.
Yeah.
But 2% is my hard limit. Like I won't risk more than 2% of my capital on any one trade. So I'll size this trade so that if I lose 100% of my premium in this trade, worst case is it's a 2% hit to my portfolio.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's important to have a rule like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think that's the trade.
That's it. I like this. I also think biotech is one of those industry groups where typically I would say, no way. Let's not put it on at the index level. Biotech is one of those where I think it's almost a preferred vehicle, right? For this area of the market, simply because this is one of those industry groups where, God forbid, you pick the wrong one. It's almost impossible to manage risk when something's down 60% after hours on phase 2 results, right? So biotech is unique in that way. And I think for that reason, we cushion ourselves from that kind of event risk big time by using the index.
Well, hey, I want to make sure we address the comment section a little bit here. I have a couple comments that are worth noting. Brian C. says, hey guys, just want to thank you for sharing all your chart work with the YouTube community. I really appreciate it. Hey, Brian, we appreciate you tuning in, so thanks. And then I also want to shout out, where was it? Caesar. He says, come on, guys, listen to your inner degen and play LABU, which is 3x bull leverage of XBI.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm happy to buy some of the junky individual names. I have a never rule for the inverse and triple levered ETFs. Never.
A never rule. I like it. Okay.
I don't touch it.
All right. We do have some people asking us to look at some charts, but I don't know if we have time for that. This is not Chart Request Live. That's a different show that Straza does with, who do you do that with?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, Patrick and I, we have a great time.
Patrick, that's right.
In fact, so definitely come if you have chart requests. We have such a good time doing that show. It's scheduled for a half hour, and we almost always go full hour. And Spencer yells at us almost every time.
Hey, if it's making Spencer unhappy, then that means it's a good show. So awesome. Awesome. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning into this week's Flow Show. Our trade that we're going to put on here is XBI. We're going to buy a September 100 to 120 call spread. We're going to try to get it for under $6. We do this. We try to do this every week. Sometimes schedules don't work out, but we try to do this every week. And we'd like to walk you through our process of how we come up with trade ideas here at All Star Charts. So thanks for tuning in. Straza, great work as always, my friend. And
I like this one, Sean. This is the pattern, right? We continue to buy this very same reversal pattern, and this trade setup is no different.
I love it. All right, folks, that's all we got. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the morning show. Until then, trade them well. And Straza, keep fighting that good fight against JC on the morning show, man. I'm on your side. I got your back.
I'm doing all right, right?
All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye.